been a minute, but it is time for a dog update, everybody. You look at this chart on the weekly and you're like one of two people. You're like, game over. That is hideous. Failure. Or you might be like me and you're like, you just can't even believe the risk reward, the opportunity that is on this chart right now for this cycle. And so that's what I want to talk about is the chart. We're going to dig into, we can even talk about the bottom here. But if you've been in crypto for any amount of time, especially cycles, you see what might be going on right now. And I want to try not only identify the bottom, but also just talk about maybe even a timeline. And our risk model for dog in the intelligence system, everybody, this is where it's at. It's at a 19. And I think this is going to give like very valuable data in terms of when the bottom can be. As a hint, it might not be here yet, but it is very close. And I want to show you exactly why that is. So I want to start here though, because this is intriguing to me. This is Arjun this is the co-CEO of Kraken. I covered this post in a video earlier. All of crypto is about to rally. And I've been very interested in his content lately because not just dog, but he's been so bullish on runes. And he strikes me as a very bright guy. I mean, he's a co-CEO of Kraken. They are like the top exchange. And he's just out there pushing runes, not just dog. And we need to, like, that's one data point that doesn't come around very often. Something like that happening with such a value play like dog that doesn't come around very often. I'm paying attention to that. Like, here's Tyler Winklevoss posting about, posting about something, working alongside Arjun and Kraken. And then Vincent comes along and says, let's bring dog to Gemini. And Arjun over here is like tagging Tyler to do it. We're at the very like beginning of the dog value play coming to fruition. And because of that, most people don't see it. And what I've noticed is it seems like a lot of people that do see it, or a lot of people that are bullish on such an ugly looking chart like this, are the ones that have been here through cycles and have seen how similar stories have played out. Because this, in my view, could very well be the best crypto of this cycle. And I want to talk about, why that is. And we'll talk about targets in this video, but I do want to start with something, which is like, if you go to the daily chart, it becomes clear, like, you can't look at this. It's very nice that we hit this oversold area. But if you look at previous swing lows, right, it's hard to identify, well, is the bottom in or not, right? Because we could have said, hey, the bottom's in right here. And it clearly wasn't, right? We pulled in and then we made one more swing low. Or back here, the bottom was in. It's hard to tell in that regard. But check this out. Let's visualize those oversold environments. And even where we are right now, oversold. We go to the risk model for dog. Any risk score falls into the 19, the sub 20 area. It's time to pay attention. So for dog in particular, I want to point something to your attention. If you look at the swing lows for dog, we can even go back to this swing low back here, May 2024, the early days. It's a 23. That was the bottom. We go here. There's a 23 and there's a 20. That was the bottom. No matter how you want to call it the bottom, right here or right here, that area in the 20s was the bottom. Then you go back to the April tariff swing low. That was an 8. That was the bottom. So here we are. We're at historically this area where around 20 has been the bottom. We did have a capitulation to 8, and right now we're at 19. The way that I read that is very simple. We could be maybe like right here, right? If you look at the capitulation, the tariff capitulation was no joke. We are talking about the fear, not across just crypto, but stock market, everything. That was no joke. And dog, right before it happened, was at 19, where we are right now. But notice, it went March 25th, 19 to the bottom, April 8th. That is like 2 weeks, basically. So within 2 weeks, the bottom was in a crazy high fear environment like that. I'm not even sure we'll get a capitulation like that if we do see a continuation on the altcoin charts. Crypto has a case to keep going. We have Ethereum targets. They've, been in play. If you just look at this massive triangle back to this trend line, mid 3000s is still in play for Ethereum. If it happens and cryptos need to hit that local bottom in the next couple of weeks, we might see the dog risk model start falling from 19 even more. Whether or not it hits an 8 or not, that's up for debate. But I think within a couple of weeks, if you go to a weekly chart, you go to a daily chart, I think within a couple of weeks, the dog bottom will be in. And right now we're at the end of September, so we can talk about like right around here. This is like mid-October right here. So what does that look like? Does it look like a little bit more down? Does it look like total capitulation down? Does it look like just sideways? I do not know, but I will be watching the momentum oscillator and I'll be watching our risk model, because our risk model, I'm incredibly interested in it for where we are in the cycle to know when to take profits. Meaning dog starts getting into the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or even 100 in a bull market. But right now, it's very clear. We are in this range, especially for something like dog, where we could be using these risk models as accumulation. So I have been kind of buying a little dog every week, just kind of continuing to dollar cost average in. But if we get a capitulation, I might up that a little bit, because our risk model in terms of dog and even just the general timing of the market right now is looking really solid, everybody. The business cycle, just how suppressed crypto has been anyway. Q4 2025 is looking very bullish from a legislation standpoint, everything. Things are lining up very well. If dog sees another leg down, call me crazy, but that looks like an amazing opportunity to buy more dog. And I just want to say this. I'm not sitting here saying, hey, go do it. But I'm tracking my journey. And yeah, I've been buying little by little, every week basically lately. If it goes further down into capitulation, I'll probably go heavier. Now, with that being said, let's talk about a bull move. What's crazy is the lower dog goes, the more upside it has. From right now to a very simple, and I really mean it, simple $1 billion market cap. That's a 433% gain. But I think the upside potential for dog, it is absolutely like 10 billion market cap. It's 20 billion market cap. If we get an awesome Q4 into bullish 2026, 50 billion plus is in play. The gains there are just too mind-boggling for me to cover in this video. But I want to present to you the very simple case that dog even just goes to 4 billion. Right? From where we are now, that's a 2,100% gain. And I just want to say, for somebody that's just been just hanging in there through the crypto cycle, this cycle, I'm all for it. Accumulating a chart like this for a year and a half, if it eventually goes to 2,100% gains, everybody, that's how you play crypto cycles. If that played out like that. And that's just a $4 billion market cap. So I wanted to share this with you because I really want to put it out there when things are looking terrible. I don't want to just get all hype and start talking about dog charts when we finally do start making the move. I want to do it now because I think, number one, that's what content creation is about really tracking the journey, the ups and downs. But that's what analysis is about. This is exactly what value investing is about, is buying when it's incredibly undervalued, when you see the fundamental play that is right there in front of our face. So I wanted to share that with you. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Get into our risk models if you want. We have some awesome risk models, dog being one of them. They will allow for planning, accumulation, as well as taking profits in the exit planners. So appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.